Thank you. Hi, I'm Jess Ross. I'm the former Chief Product Officer of Fairfax Media. And today I want to use my 5 minutes with you to share a rather unusual Australian success story to maybe inspire you with new ways that we can create radical new forms of journalism. So I'm going to say it, news, in my opinion, is broken. It's gone in my lifetime from being something that you aspire to, that makes you smarter every day, to being described as relentlessly negative, toxic, and fake. Well, you might not know it, but museums are broken too. People all over the globe travel to see major museums like the Louvre, but the average visit time is just 20 minutes, which is ridiculously short for the Mona Lisa. There is one museum bucking that trend, and that is Mona, the Museum of Old and New Art. And it was established just 8 years ago in a funny Australian backwater called Tasmania. But Mona isn't your average museum. It's incredibly popular. It broke all attendance records in its first year, and its average visit is 6 times the global average. In fact, 1/3 of their visitors come back the next day because they couldn't get enough the first day. It's not your average museum. There's no white cube here. It's actually built underground. Every single artwork is lit for maximum impact, and there are no maps or labels or official information for you to guide you around here. Why have they done that? Well, I think it's because conventional museums have spent so long trying to inform you into loving art history that they've forgotten how to engage you. Mona, on the other hand, really doesn't give a damn about informing you. Their priority is all around helping you discover meaning and value for yourself. So they put the visitor's experience before everything else. It's probably the only museum in the world where the art actually comes second. Well, what does this have to do with unbreaking news? I think art and journalism have quite a lot in common. Efficient communicators, they are both critics and crusaders, and they are social barometers. So what can we learn from Mona? Well, first, at Mona, your experience doesn't start in front of an artwork. You get on a ferry, you sit on a sheep, and you go and have a drink at the posh pit. We may not be able to give a beer to someone clicking an AMP story tile, but I think that we could potentially give more attention to the audience experience. What if we started to give that more consideration than simply the story? Right, I've lost my place in my slides. So, at Mona, you have to find your way around. It's dark, you find your way by feel. Could we just stop the slides for a minute? None of you are going to get the gist of this at all, I'm sorry. I should have used my notes. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. We'll keep going. So at Mona, you really have to work to discover, basically. There are no maps, there's no sanctioned routes, and we're really encouraged to discover for ourselves, feeling our way around in the dark. You can see there taking a photo of myself. You have to choose to stop, when to listen, what to think, how to respond, and people really love it. So, what if we stopped trying to tell our audience and started showing? How could we create new forms of storytelling that spark more curiosity from our readership and a greater sense of participation in the story? It's known that we value what we have to work for. So at Mona, the art itself doesn't really conform to what you expect from a conventional museum. Antiquities like this sit alongside work that was made yesterday. And it really jars us. It jars us into rethinking, well, what is art? So what if journalism didn't have to be news? What if we stopped insisting on that? News is a cultural invention. It's a set of formats for the delivery of stories which was actually created back when the telegraph was the fastest form of communication. Mona really doesn't, it refuses to be typecast. It's not a museum, it's a music festival, it's a brewery, it's a bar, it's a nude swim in the middle of nowhere, and winter, in fact. So what if we designed products that actually competed with the real blockbusters of the attention economy? Can journalists join Twitch? Can they channel their inner YouTuber, or do we just have to accept that serious news is the only thing that can resist the seduction of propaganda or entertainment? At Mona, if you want information about the art, you have to choose who to listen to, where to get it from. There are a lot of voices on offer, and the traditional art history is rather joyfully labelled art wank. Well, it certainly helps it effectively compete. So what if we took ourselves a little bit less seriously? What if we levelled the playing field a bit? If we're genuinely interested in creating inclusive journalism, I think that the view from nowhere, the establishment voice, these are media tropes that are dangerous in a Me Too, Black Lives Matter era. So Mona inspired me. I hope I've inspired you tonight to have a think about what we can do differently. Thank you.